I just had an interview with a guest. After I paused it and stopped it, nothing else really happened. I know I stopped it at a random time, but I don't like to make my videos over 15 minutes, so I always have it just set there. Maybe I should have extended it, but afterwards I'll just explain what happened. So we talked about it, and afterwards we just said it was a good debate discussion. There was nothing toxic going on about it. No trash talking, no saying, oh, you're bad because you team, or something like that, but it was just random. And there I just got the fix where you get stuck. I think it happens when you click off the screen. That's what one person said. But it was just a regular debate just like that. Nothing else really happened afterwards. And you didn't miss anything important. We just said bye. And that was it. Nothing else. That was just it. It was kind of cool. And the fact that I didn't even want to start my video beforehand. The reason I started it is because I had like a few fans who wanted me to record with them, which is basically self-promotion, saying, oh, look at me, I'm a fan. And I never get it. I mean, are they a fan of my scores and gats or my YouTube channel? I really can't tell. So I'd like to discuss it a bit. So his main point was, hey, get out of the middle because it gives you power and upgrades so you can control the rest of the place. Which in a way, it definitely does. I mean, if you have upgrades, it will let you survive more than the next person. And that was his point. And yes, while I have some influence with it, I really don't have that much to convince the whole entire team. Hey, let's get out of the middle and go somewhere else. And that's just how it is. So today we got a double upload, which I would consider a good thing. I mean, the interview may not be the most interesting of things, but I still think you would have found it interesting to some proportion, right? Anyways, tell me about my mobile Fortnite, because I really don't get that. Like, should I keep doing it? Should I stick to what I'm good at, gats? Or should I try it? Besides, I have a newfound friend in it, a self-proclaimed mobile ninja. Even though he's absolutely terrible, don't mention that to him. He talks about how he has amazing wins, but the only proof of it so far is just clutching one win, in which he camped in a house, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, the self-proclaimed mobile ninja. I think I should play with him. What do you guys think? He says he'll be up for it. In fact, he plays gats. That's how I met him. So what do you guys think about that? But yeah, the interview was quite interesting. I mean, I already knew from the get-go that we were going to be talking about teaming. Straight from the get-go. I mean, just the way he brought it up. What I basically said was, I understand that you want the middle, but I can't really convince him to leave. The middle's like where you meet, it's where you get points, it's where you get upgrades. It's a whole lot easier than getting kills. I agree with him on that. I agreed with him on a lot of things. That was quite selfish in a way. But you really can't change that, especially with the community so widely split. I mean, if there was something like cheating on like some big game, and teaming was essentially cheating, then the devs would make it an entire power to change the teaming, to like ban them or something. But obviously we are not there yet. We still are in the mode where if you're teaming, I don't like it, or in teaming that I'm okay with it. That's what we're in right now. Whoa. Perfect slide down. But anyway, that's how it is right now, and that's why it's not changing. Because when it doesn't change, when people don't find something too bad, then the devs find no reason to change it. The devs are sort of lazy in that regard because the people who want teaming are more voiced about it. The people who like teaming don't say a lot about it, but the people who hate it, they keep on talking and talking about it. So in that way, the devs aren't really listening. But at the same time, if they know anything about cats and they know that the community is very widely split, I'd say 50-50. It's just that the other 50 don't want to talk as much. Another point I brought up in the argument, which I think should be taken very seriously, is the fact about that we have a chat box for a reason. I don't think that the devs put the chat box in there only for trash talking. I mean, sure, it can be used as a funny little device. Could be for some people to act really toxic, but I really doubt it was in there just for trash talking. That means they want some discussion, and that sometimes would mean what some people would consider teaming talking. Another thing I don't understand is, like, people say, oh, I can kill you because you're teaming, but it's when they're talking. Now, I find that talking and then killing them is just as worse as some people consider teaming. Now, I can see how teaming is bad, especially when it's a 2v1 or a 3v1, or when they have the upgrades and you don't. But sometimes teaming can just be talking, and that's what I want teaming to be, and that's what I hope it grows into. Just people talking and then going their separate ways. Even though that still has a little bit of an advantage towards them, because that means one less player who's out to kill them. But at the same time, I feel like I'm killed more by my own team than by guests. Because I accidentally bump into them and they get all freaked out and they're like, oh no, shoot them. It's kind of funny how that works when your own teammates kill you. Oh, I don't know what that means. Okay. He's laughing. But that's just how it is. Some people hate it, some people love it. I don't know if it'll ever change, but that's the way the game is in right now. It was just, I can't really force the team to go out of the middle. Like, I understand that would be a huge step. But as I said before in the argument, the devs have changed this to make it a little bit more fair. If you didn't know, back in the old days, as I will call it, when the game was first coming out, if there was still middle, of course, but the middle, it didn't. So nowadays, only one person can use the middle at a time. There can't be multiple people in it, all gaining points. But back in the old days, it was different. Everyone who was in the square, how many ever you could squeeze in, would always get the same amount of points. Always, same amount of points. So, the devs try and stop people from just hogging the middle, getting all the points, and that was how people were getting high scores and getting up into the top places and all that. The devs changed it to make it so that players couldn't just crowd up in the middle, all teamed up, and get points for however many days they wanted. And that's just how it was. Teamers just keep on doing that. And I remember it because I used to be like a small guest who always wanted to team. It would be like, oh, that's so cool. Let me join you, please, please, please. I'm just a poor little kid who's a noob at the game. Obviously, a lot has changed since then. But that was how it was. This is the only thing I've ever seen the devs do to try and stop teaming. The only thing, ever. There's never been anything else. Also, this is kill time. He may or may not be my brother. He may or may not suck at the game, but his name is Kill Time. That's the only good thing about it. It starts with a K, similar to mine. Oh, come on. That was definitely a rage. Anyways. Yeah. That's the only ever time I've seen the devs try and take some action to stop the teaming. Only ever time. I've never seen it elsewhere. But let's be honest, everyone just crowding in the middle, getting all the points they ever wanted. That also is a bit OP, so I could see it from their standpoint. But if one of the sides is gonna win, either teamers are gonna win, or the non-teamers are gonna win. I'm gonna call them that now. But because the non-teamers are more voiced about their opinions, I truly believe they are going to win. And if they win, that's okay. I'll just stop teaming and I hope I don't get banned because I put so many hours into this. I would literally be so upset at the game. Oh, come on. Okay. The double. You stole my kill, though. But I would kind of be upset if they banned me for that. I mean, the amount of hours I put into this game is a lot. And I obviously want the game to succeed. So obviously, if the devs think the game is going to do better if they remove teaming, then so be it. Remove teaming and hopefully you may get a bigger player base. May or may not happen. It just depends on where the game is going. But so I really do think the non-teamers are going to win, unless the teamers are actually going to speak out, which most of them haven't. I'm sorry, I guess didn't know. I don't know you and I don't trust. So unless the teamers are more voiced about their opinions, the devs. Oh my gosh. Don't even look at my aim. Don't even think about it. Kitties. I know, right? Kitties are so cute. So, if the devs actually start listening, then yeah. Now, what I'm hoping now is that they're very busy working on a huge update to change this game in some spectacular way. In some really spectacular way. One of the things I suggested on the Discord is that they should add a second level. Like maybe you should just see sort of like a hole-like structure inside of the game, and you can see like a little tiny like rope ladder or something hanging out. And you would climb that and take that to a second level in the game. Now obviously all they could do is just shrink the map a bit. Maybe you lose half of it, and then add a second level. Like imagine that, 2 levels. Now on those 2 levels, perhaps you could separate it into half. Say one could be for teaming, and one could be for regular FFA. Now obviously with the player base, not the biggest of course. Oh come on, Camo. Anyway, with the player base being so small at the moment, you would really have to increase the player base before this could happen. Thank you. So, if you increase the player base, all of a sudden the devs can put more time into it, because if they're creating more revenue, of course they're going to focus it on more. And that's the entire name of the game. Player base, you just need it. You really can't go anywhere without having a big enough player base. So unless that happens, we're stuck with how the game is right now, which is sad. Because I really want it to grow, I really do. But I no longer think that we can be separated and still grow. Now we have to either become one thing, or we're always going to be separated. So either the non-teamers go or the teamers go. Now I'm not saying it has to happen today, but it has to happen soon. I really don't know when it's going to happen. But I'm going to consider, I'm really thinking that there's going to be an update. Major things are going to happen. And one of the two will go. Or maybe they will both stick together and have their stairway